Hello, 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 hello. So yun, no? Nagbabalik tayo. Ayan, papunta pa lang tayo sa spaceship ni Alphen. Yung ginamit niya papuntang Dana. Ayan, Sir Richard Andrew Manangkil, Fatman Gaming. Thank you sa pag-like and share ng ating stream. Welcome, welcome po. Ayan, simulan na natin to. Happy Day Stream bro, plus Ultra. Thank you sa pagbisita. Yan. Plus Ultra tayo yan. Malapit-lapit na. Yan, medyo malapit na pala. Dahil pala ginawa ko yung mga side quest habang hindi ako naka-stream. Paano ako mag-control? Alam mo ko na agad yung control. Saan mapunta? Saan may mapa? Shortcut ng mapa. Square? Wala pa akong shortcut dun. Dito pala sa likod. Mamimili muna tayo. Hindi kami bilihan dito. Sa inn. Sir Kim bro, well tested. Salamat sa pagtambay, Sir Lepatman. And good luck sa pagtetest. Mga PS2 games. Alam ko medyo naubusan ako ng yan, okay na yan.
Did we really just spend that much money?
Ay, tingnan ako. Hindi ko nakita kung may bagong kapapalit ko lang ba ng mga weapon. Miss Pani Panuto, thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream. Welcome, welcome. At thank you din po sa pag-share ng ating stream. Medyo naglolo ko sa FB for this year. Ay, sige, check natin yan mamaya. Tama ba? Dito ba yun ako? Tapos dito. Naglalag. Check natin yan.
Double demon fang!
Vanquish darkness!
My turn!
Barely a blip on our radar.
So, narin tayo nito. Natapos natin yung malaking monster dito eh. Level 43 na malakas.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Chicken. Magugustuhan nyo. Sige. Check natin yan. Puntahan ko na rin ngayon. Paload na natin. Hindi nag-update yung comment section ko dito sa stream ko na pinapanood. Stream ko. Pero buti nag-update dito sa live producer. Tignan natin kung lalabas yung ano. Yung skits.
About time we call it a night?
Indeed.
Ah, wala.
One should never Make sure to get some good rest.
Medyo mabagal pa rin yung FB sa ano. Sa
Days like
PLDT.
this are perfect to curl up with a good book. What in the world would you do with a book?
Hey, the pictures can teach a guy a lot.
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different.
Save nga natin. Alam ko, nakatalo na ba ako nito malaking to?
From Menencias.
It's got... It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Mahina na lang pala siya. Nakapatay na nga ako. Takbo, takbo.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Parang hindi lumalabas lahat ng notification. Sa akin lang, hindi lumalabas. Nagloloko na naman si FB.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you
Sir God of Dice.
And
Thank you
also
sa pag-like
the
ng
first time
ating
we touched,
stream.
as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Sa paborito kong corner. Thank you, thank you. Happy New Year din, Sir God of Dice. Kamusta, kamusta?
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law.
Tit, 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 tit. Bagal talaga ni FB. Palaman-laman mag-infension ha. Lapit na. 2 days na lang. Sa Wednesday ba o bukas?
Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Bergvall.
Sir Isis Irvine, aka Ambot Gaming, thank you sa pag-heart react na ating stream. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Idol ko to eh. Thank you, thank you. Salamat sa pagbisita, Sir Isis.
Kano.
We need to find that starship. And fast.
Wednesday yata. O kasi ngayon nata ang tapos o bukas. Hindi ko pa nasilip kung ngayon yung tapos nung kay Ito eh, na banner. Ang nakita ko lang wala na yung battle pass eh.
Double Demon Fang!
Confiscate. And again.
I'm on it! Talon armor won't save you! Here I come! I'm on a roll now!
Duel the arc.
Eternal devastation!
Thank you din sa pag-share ng ating stream sa Rises.
Sion, can you take care of them?
Happy Monday, Happy Monday.
Doubling.
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis.
Glacial Sphere.
An astral art?
That's my cue. And mine.
Shut him down.
Strike!
What's this?
Dragon Force!
Ayun o, Team Antidote represent Ambot Gaming. Welcome, welcome.
Rising Viper! Here I come!
Kamusta sa Rises?
Dragon Swarm!
Do it. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished! Not a chance!
Eat this. Strike.
Rising Viper!
Here goes.
Soaring Light Spear!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Okay, okay. Yung kalaban to mga malalaking bato eh. Makukunat. Yan sila pa yung mas sakit.
It's off! Here I come!
Nag-uunat lang pala.
Escape! You're finished! Are those rocks? Armor won't save you! Hit a word! Dragon Swarm! Rising Light! Strong! Then I'll split it open!
Ay, wala yung puputol yung combo.
I'll take you all on! I owe you one!
Now!
The enemy wields art!
Demon's Descent!
Flashing
Sim Fang.
Easy! Way to go!
No escape! Soaring Light Spear! Mirage! Try harder!
Pierce evil!
Crunch! I'll
Nice.
crush you! Lightning reflexes!
Sobrang lakas taas na ng level ng Xenoverse clone niya.
Take this! Dragon Swarm!
Cancel kaya ito.
Great! Amazing!
Uplaw, I'm trying to focus.
I was only trying to be nice.
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both.
Demon Fang! You're mine! Crunch!
Will this help?
Last shot!
Made one. Healing for come.
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wasn't easy, Sarah.
Nope, that is silly.
I tornado.
Crunch! Eat this!
Here, let me help.
Talon Storm!
Malapit na, konti na lang.
Wyvern!
Ay, naputol yung combo.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Ten of
Another squall.
Here I come!
Dorking.
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis.
My
Now.
turn! Rebel!
Astral Energy.
Say no more!
Boom. Nice.
I can feel my precision improving.
Gotik guys.
That equipment should come in handy.
Nice. May bagong armor. Tapos, next natin ay dito. Dito na lang tayo dumaan. Pwede rin pala dito. Kunin ko lang to para hindi natin kailangan gamitin yung CP natin dito. Makakakit naman tayo dito. Sayang CP. Puntahan ko lang ba kami may ano.
Huh.
Papagamitin talaga niya ako CP. Ay, dapat pala. At ginamit ko muna yung CP pala.
Illuminate the dark.
Take this! Crunch! It cools off! Time to get out of the way! Okay, here I go! Come one, come all! No armor can stop me!
Remind me to stay on your good side.
Talon Hurricane! Dragon Swarm! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Soaring Light Spear! Hurricane!
Ay,
I'll burn it
nice.
all!
Pa-level natin yung arts na to. Gusto ko ito.
Flaming Pillar! Fire! Rebel!
Astral Energy.
Say no more! Shot!
Well done.
You're mine! Strike!
Great
Double Demon Fang! You're mine! Dragon Swarm!
Anything in armor is all mine.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Here I go.
Hindi na nga, babasagin natin.
You're finished! Dragon Swarm! Oh! Now I'm real mad!
Now.
Nice.
Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Here, let me
My
help.
turn!
What a relief.
You're ours! Eat this! You're mine!
Blazing blade!
I'll crush you!
Lightning reflexes!
Xenoburst Claw.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
No complaints from me.
Bawal dumaan doon sa gitna. Ah, bawal pala. Talagang gagamitin mo yung CP.
You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Flaming Man.
Go no further.
Tapos, cancel natin ito.
The flame
you
inside
going?
me yearns to be let free! Dragon Form!
Watch
Eternal devastation!
I can do this all day. Hear me. Bring it now.
It got fire!
Nice.
Astral and
Kala ko hindi pa aabot.
No more! Got it!
throw it on.
Now! Strike! Dragon Swarm!
May trophy pa tayo nakuha.
Tear!
Do it. Kisara. Frozen.
Hammer.
Hey, Poodle's quivering. I think we're about to be real lucky.
Yan ba item? Woohoo.
Eat dirt.
Armor won't
save you. Come here.
Tapos yung dalawa.
You're mine! I'm on it! No escape!
By the power of water. Their hide is thick as armor.
Rising lava!
Not on my watch.
Take this!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for you to do it. This one's mine. Raging cascade. Here.
What's
this? I'll heal you
Dragon
all.
Form! Plasma Shock!
Watch the healing circle.
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop. Leave the enemy's art to me.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone! Now!
I'll finish you here and now!
Here I...
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
Now I can let loose! Double Demon Blast! Dragon Swarm!
Ay, hindi ko natuloy.
Ready. Sighted.
Siyempre. Lakas naman ang lipad nun.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous
Let's go.
One deadly strike, just as ordered.
My face is starting to sting. And my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
Akala ko item.
You want some too, Shion? Oh, wait.
Diretso, tapos likod.
You're hungry more than anything. All right.
Out of our way!
Carve through armor!
Sense in the wind!
Dragon Swarm! It's over!
I'll finish you here and now!
Slippery area on their back!
Saan nakalayo?
Into the shadows! Go for the weak point! Shining
Dragon Swarm!
Annihilation!
Rising light!
Let's do it!
No doubt!
Nice.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
Sabi na ulit tayo pambenta, panggawa ng accessory. Di ba tayo gumagawa ng accessory? Ay, dito muna tayo. Okay, lagyan natin. Yung taas 42. Cancel muna. Ano tayo?
An opponent like should be
Wala.
easy.
Demon Fang! I feel like me again.
Glacial Spear.
Here I come! Dragon Form! First strike! Eternal devastation! Raging Serpent! You're mine! Strike! Soaring Light Spear! Miracle! Take this!
Annihilation.
Dragon
All
Form!
back in their defenses!
Rising
Glad you
Rider!
have your uses.
Now! Here I
I'll
come!
show
Okay,
you how
basag.
you like it,
My turn! I'm not done! Now I can let loose! Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying.
You're right. Here I come! Crumble!
Thousand Gales.
Soaring Light
These
Spear!
sticks has got your name on them!
Burning.
Sablay.
I'm not done! Dragon Swarm!
Now, keep going. Go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
No,
You made quick work of them!
Want me to pick up your slack then?
Just pointing it out!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was complete.
No, I mean you're even better than ever. I've never seen Xion actually look trusted. Now,
Here I
Ang
come!
taas niya.
Astral Energy.
Say no more!
Durog.
That astral energy was incredible!
I gave it everything I had.
Orange gel. Sayang. Nagre-restore naman tayo ng CP. Sino maganda? Ito. Ito natin parang may bago siyang man. Bago siyang arts. Alam ko may kukunin ako eh. Matandaan ko ano. Si Lop yung daming ano. Daming arts. Daming skill. Puro passive lang kinukuha natin kay Alpen para hindi na kapalit ng skill. Mga arts pala. Boom.
Here I come! You're finished! First strike!
Paano nagkakasto? Tumba.
Hit a word!
Coming through! Ha! Now!
Mali. Scarlet.
An inferno!
Akala ko nakalima na ako.
Blow them away! Not a chance!
Now I'm in the groove!
Try harder!
Shattering up pieces!
Dragon Swarm! Rising Walker!
I'll run you through! That freaking does it!
Uy, 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 uy. Mamatay ako. Healing circle, healing circle. Ay, buti. Buti sumakto bago ako matamaan.
I'll crush you!
Sir Zeb, thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream. Ziggy Mateo Music on YouTube. Welcome, welcome.
Dark
Double Demon Fang!
Come forth, holy glimmer! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny...
Armor na naman. Kayo no armor yan. Hindi. Kay Kisara.
mood.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Isa lang tinamaan.
There you go. I feel like me again. I'm on a roll now.
Demon Fang!
Tear.
You're mine!
Ay, mali.
Divine
Dragon Swarm!
Radiant Blood! Here!
Crush! Nothing, knuckle! Here I come! Ruin!
This one's mine!
Here I come!
Watch it.
I'm on Dragon Swarm!
I'm all
That
set for
pretty does
require
it.
complete focus!
Double Demon Fang!
That's it.
All
What you
disaster
doing?
zero! Come forth and helix of purity! Prototype field!
Dragon Swarm!
Watch this.
Mega Red!
It's
Now!
devastation!
Now!
Plasma Shock!
Here's a healing arc!
Kulang.
Through! Ha!
Putol.
Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help!
Double Demon Fang!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! We're in good form!
Ding, ding, ding. Ah, mali, mali. Ba't tumiretso ako dito muna? Sayang item. Pati dito. Dami namang kalaban. Ilan to? 5?
This will be a delicious piece of cake!
Dami nagkakas.
I do! Arc Seal!
Here I come!
This wall! Whoa! Hey! When it's time!
Devastation!
Eagle Fly.
Double Demon Fang!
Nothing gets
Do
by
it!
me.
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Oh, iwa. Umabot.
Confiscated! Radiant
Here I
on here!
come! Dragon Swarm!
Here I go!
Rising Watcher!
Shouldn't have messed with me.
This one's mine!
It's over! We've turned the tables on him.
Nawala tuloy yung ano.
Right! No time to hold back! Here I come! Talon Sword! Double Demon! I'll crush you!
Magkatabi pa sila.
Lightning reflexes. Tenebrous claw.
Tenebrous Claw.
Step back. This one's all law.
Creative. Ano to?
This bridge will hold itself together, right?
Most definitely. Though I won't make any promises.
Which one is it?
Okay. Tuloy tayo. Pagmalin.
Hi, Hoodle!
Double Demon Fang! Dragon Swarm!
Freaking thunder!
Dragon Swarm!
What a relief. Blow away.
Double Demon Fang!
The flashing part's their weak point!
It's over!
Glimmer Flex. I'll finish you here. That freaking does it.
Double Demon Fang!
Now I'm in trouble.
Patay na sila.
This has got your name on him.
Do it!
I could do this all day.
Nawala.
Thanks so much!
I'm sorry to be bothered.
We've all got enough.
Yes, ma'am.
Dragon Swarm!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Now, astral energy!
Say no more!
GG.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Okay, okay. Next. Diretso lang.
Guess I
Ano
missed
kalaban,
the
di ba?
landing.
Get lost!
I can carve
Ay,
through.
mali.
Go!
Ito pala.
Not on my watch!
Double Demon Fang. I'll run you
We
through.
natural energy!
Dragon Swarm.
Take with this!
Eternal Devastation. Rising Wyvern.
The Bird! Albert Francisco, thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream.
Lightning Tear.
Mega Ray!
No escape. Dragon Swarm.
Salamat din sa pag-share.
One master
Thank you, thank you.
Sleep now!
Ay!
Let's get you all tucked away! I never miss! Banana, let's go!
Dragon Swarm.
Here's a healing art!
Eternal Devastation. Eternal Flame.
What I do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I'll burn it all.
I'll burn it all.
Flaming Pillar. Fire.
Nasave mo na set mo, hindi pa.
Your turn. Watch this.
Hindi natin na-save sa loadout. I-save natin yan.
Take this. Dragon.
Ay, ay, ay.
Confiscated!
Ayun, buti cancel parehas.
Rising Dragon Swarm.
Salamat sa reminder.
Rising Wyvern. Amazing.
Shut up, Law! I'm trying to focus!
Trying to be nice. You fight better at a distance.
Regild Black Iron, thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream. Welcome, welcome.
Double Demon Fang.
Far enough! Hold on to your heart. Do it! Come! Now!
Eh, wala na naman.
I'll run you through. Double Demon Fang. Take this.
One at a
We
time!
did it. Not a chance. No escape. Rising Wyvern. Okay, here I come.
More for the stockpile! Freezing
Eternal
storm!
Devastation.
Now you see what I can do.
I
Double Demon
Thunder
Fang.
Field!
Eat this. Strike.
Ayun. Nice, nice.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Ayoko ma-spoil. Sige, sige. Nalalaro pa ba yung Tales of Arise mo? Kalaban pala. Easy lang to. Ay, walang pa-cancel.
You going? Thunder Field!
Dragon Swarm.
Lunar Parade!
Ako target nito eh.
Double Demon Fang.
Saan yung kinas yun?
No more Midnight Girl!
Dragon Swarm.
First aid!
Devastation.
Eagle Fly! Here's Leo! Let them mark! I guess you had your uses now and again.
Told ya. Lies unstoppable.
Shame you're not like that all the time.
Finish this.
Freeze Laser! Ready!
Double Demon Fang.
Roll now.
Dragon
Boom, boom.
Do it!
Rinwell. Light burst forth.
Ready!
Ano ko na uli? Ah, nice, nice.
We managed to pull through.
Dahil mo na rin kasing nilalaro. Dami ng games. Nasa umpisa pa rin. O kung kakakuha pa lang ng damit. Umpisang-umpisa pa lang. Nasa prologue ka pa lang.
Demon Fang.
I'll smash you.
Don't mind if I do! Cyan Instant!
Take this.
Hindi mo nahin ko na ito nagkakas.
I'm on a roll
Double
now.
Demon Fang.
Arrow Ball! The flashing parts are weak points! I'm out of
Here
ammo!
I come.
This one's mine!
I'm not done. Here's Dragon Swarm.
To the fray! Annihilation! Raging Cascade! Sleep now! Annihilation!
Here I come. I'll run you through.
Let me help!
Take this.
I'll finish you here and now.
Now
Ready and rare.
do it.
Nice.
Hey.
Blow them away. My turn.
Cyan Instant!
Strike.
Likod.
Now I'm in the groove.
Ay, hindi ako napag-dodge.
Take this.
See what happened there as you crossed me.
I owe you one.
Done that.
Ayun niya tumalikod.
Lunar Blast! This one's mine!
Dragon Swarm! Swallow this! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebris
Universe ko.
Step back! This one's all law!
Uy, gold gel. So mukhang maraming gagamitan ng CP doon sa baba.
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're
Sir
going.
John Road Kitoriano, thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream. Welcome. Happy New Year.
Left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything.
Ubus CP ko dito.
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle. Well, both.
Not necessarily.
Grabe, 80 plus agad. 84 CP agad yung nabawas. Tapos wala rin. Shortcut lang. At pala tinignan ko muna bago ko kinabit yung tulay.
Double Demon Fang! Try harder! Take this! Dragon Swarm!
I never miss!
Time for one more! Double Demon!
Ay,
Here I come! Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Spear! Pierce the evil!
Dragon Swarm! Eternal Devastation! Orochi's Fury!
Ready to go! Healing Circle!
Mirage! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
kumura.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that training's paying off!
Lightning Orb!
Mirage! You're mine!
I'm just getting started!
I can do without pain. Double Demon Fang!
Nice.
Dragon Swarm!
You shouldn't have messed with me.
He did mess with me.
Watch this! It's over!
Now! Keep going! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble.
My turn! I'm on!
Here, let me help!
Powered Hurricane!
First aid!
Eagle! I'll smash you! Watch this!
Thunderbolt! Illuminate the dark!
Damn it!
Now!
I'll crush
I
you!
crush you.
Lightning reflexes! Tenebris Claw!
Sakto magkatabi silang dalawa.
That extra training paid off.
What? Ito naman?
Right, here goes!
Walang kayo.
Dreams!
I'm surrounded! No escape!
Eagle Fly! I
Take
can do
this!
this all
No
day!
escape!
Go for the weak point!
Rising Wyvern!
I never miss! Light
Take this!
Soaring Instant! Get on here!
Ngayon nga mo natin ito, papatayin na.
You're mine!
Anything in order.
That freaking does it!
I'm on
Inspiration! I'm not done! Double Demon Fang!
Illuminate the dark!
Blazing Flame!
Ngayon natin mo naman nagkakas.
I'm on a roll now.
Lunar require complete focus!
Take this! I'm not done!
Air thrust!
Swallow down!
Now I'm in the groove.
Eternal Devastation! Talon Hurricane!
I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! May 1,000 gales
Double Demon Fang!
Talon Hurricane! Now!
Another one down.
Double Demon Fang!
Do it! Do it! Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Boom.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's...
Dalawang bato. Nagmalen.
Here, let me help.
Double demon bang! What a relief!
Take that! Hear me!
You're mine! Dragon Tail!
Hear the
Turtle
hero
Day
together.
Station!
First aid!
Hit him with Dragon Form!
A banana! Let's go!
You're mine! I'll smash you!
Cancel ka.
Flame! Get on in there with the
Here
others!
I come! I'm not done! Dragon Form!
Talon Hurricane! Get on in there with the
Eternal
others!
Devastation! Oh, now do it!
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! No!
Seal!
Take this! I'm on it! Strike!
Field! A banana! Let's go! Magic in the air!
Palikod, palikod.
Now! Eagle roll!
All yours, Kisara.
Boom. GG.
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Kuha ng item. Ang 71 na lang dahil dun sa tulay. Naubos sa tulay. Boss. Ay boss, may nakikita akong ano. Pang heal. Okay, boss.
What the hell is that thing? Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's
Good luck sa boss. Thank you, Sir
We
Ganji.
can figure that out later.
Malakas ba? Malakas to ah.
Town
Kapag
is
good luck
going to
eh.
cause chaos. We need to take it down and
Kamukha niya yung kay Balsef na fire na ano to? Fire na spirit ba yun? Taas 47.
But we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Sino to targeting mo dito?
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone.
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me?
Sino patakihin ko?
You even have to ask? Of course I'm scared.
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogles?
Ay, ito pala.
Care of them while keeping an eye on it. Illuminate the
Turtle Demon Fang!
Holy
Blazing Flame! Dragon Form! Swallow Dance!
Gagawin na ito.
Double Demon Fang! Here I come!
I can carve
Hey, Ray June, Place. Thank you sa pag-hype-react na ating stream.
Eternal Devastation!
Let's tear him up!
Dragon Form!
There you go. Now watch this.
Ayun na tayo sa kanya. Ibang palapit yung...
I'm on it!
And thank you din sa pag-share ng ating stream.
Double Demon Fang! You're mine! Dark Wind! Take this!
Ay, huwag kayo dyan.
Dance!
Anything in honor is all mine.
Sleep now.
Blazing Flame! Dragon Form! Eternal Devastation! Eagle Fly! Double Demon Fang! Take this!
Tagal mo matay.
You're mine! First strike!
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well I...
Ay, Ray June. Thank you sa 10 stars.
Stay away from my friend!
Kabos mo dahil yung kapatid mo. Ay, hindi ko kilala yan.
Double demon! Double demon!
Salamat sa pag ano. Patay.
I'll bring you back from
What's this?
Kaya maraming salamat, Raiden.
Not done yet! Double demon bang!
Si Juni Place.
Dragon swarm!
It's weakened.
This ends now! You're finished!
Hindi ako abot niyan, malayo kami.
Rising wyvern! Mirage! Totally! In an instant! Impact block! In time! I'm not done! Dragon swarm!
Glacial spear. Here's evil.
Devastation! Double
Tree
demon
blaster.
fang!
Photon. There you go. This helps.
Double demon fang!
Healing.
Ito ko lang kasi.
Not done!
Abos mo siya. Abos niya. Mas protection yun. Oo nga.
Yeah. You too.
Salamat sa pagbisita. Radio ng sa ating Corn Hub. Sa Team Corn Hub.
You're finished!
Mga sel, kailangan ko pa tignan yung ano. Yung malaki.
None shall escape.
Now you're talking! I'm not done!
Pero malayo naman eh. Basta malayo, hindi naman abot.
Damn it.
Double demon fang! Take this!
Got it.
Dragon swarm!
Now's our chance.
Eternal devastation!
May a thousand cats carry the drop.
I'm not done! Do it! Lord! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Kunot na.
It's go time!
Here come more.
We'll just have to keep fighting.
Double demon!
Don't mind if I do.
Okay.
You'll
Cancel
see
lahat.
about that.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that? That training's paying off!
Hey, just what I needed.
I don't know what I'd do
Saan
without.
may ibang sugil? Ba't nasa taas?
Isn't the time?
I really don't.
Thanks so much.
Double demon
Not on my watch. Or steel.
Pakadaya.
You're mine! I'm not done!
Magic is there. Astral energy.
Say no more! Not a chance! No escape! Rising!
Confiscate.
You're mine! Hurricane Thrust! Mirage!
Flame of
It's
fury.
over!
Burning
Dragon Swarm!
I can carve
Here's
through
evil.
them. You made quick work of them.
Want me to pick up your slack then?
Just pointing it out.
As impressive as always. No, I mean you're even better than ever. I've never seen Xion actually look closer.
Double demon fang!
Good. Next. Next batch. Paano ito kayo?
It was nice while it lasted.
Kasi nakatayo lang kayo dyan. Dito kayo. Mas malayo. Tawag na naman, umilaw na uli yung mata.
Incoming.
Not a problem. Not in your dreams. Hold on to your heart. You're right.
Unahin natin to, tagal mamatay ng golem.
It's over!
It looks like you got this one covered. Lightning.
Pero ano, ba't ang bilis ng gano'n?
I'll finish you here and now!
They're all coming after me. Astral energy.
Say no more! Shut!
Well done.
Ang bilis mag-regen nung pang team.
Your art. Here I
Double
come.
demon fang! Dragon Swarm! Blazing flame!
I'm all thunderbolt.
Ay!
Poodle.
Oh, you are gonna pay for that! Double demon fang! Here I come! Dragon Swarm! I'll finish
That's
you
been a
here
smart.
and now!
Healing circle.
Double demon fang! I'll crush you!
Okay, kailangan na gumamit ng item.
Lightning reflexes. Tenebrous claw.
Dragon!
You're really strong, Alpha.
I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Still, three.
Gagamit may item.
fun to have you around.
This should do it.
Ito na lang.
Top of your heart.
Bang.
Here I come.
I could do this all day.
Ay, dito tayo para malayo.
There you go. So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint, I hear.
No, that'd be silly.
I'm not done. I'm not done. It's over. Double demon bang. Dragon form.
Lightning orb. First aid.
Pag-dodge. Kailangan ko dodge.
Now in the groove.
Lunar blast.
Inspiration. I can do this.
I'll bring you back from death to birth.
Strike.
Resuscitation. I'll heal you all. Storm.
Double demon bang.
Healing circle. Astral energy.
What a
Only
relief.
land.
Here I come.
Thanks, Trion.
Be careful not to overdo it.
Boom.
I'm sorry. I'll be better.
Boom.
Orochi Fury. Lewis, get out.
Ay, bubuga pala.
Double demon bang.
Hindi ko nakita.
Double demon bang. Lewis, get dragon form. This one's all right.
Reload.
Time for one
Man,
more.
Thousand Gales, tear you to shreds.
It's finished.
Let's do it.
I'm not done.
I can't kill you forever.
In an instant. Impact block.
Nice. Next batch.
It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone.
Uy, lakas. Ba't naman tayo? Light battle.
Everyone all right?
Okay.
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do. Just please stay safe.
Thanks.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it. Just watch and
Elsie!
learn. That's enough.
Quick time event pa.
Go back down.
Buti na buhay si Alphen dun sa isang atake niya.
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
Nice. Uy, maganda to ah. Susi pang
I feel stronger. I mean, a bit.
Good. We're counting on you, Rinwell.
On me?
Lab item.
Well, I'll do my best.
What do you know? Another big fire monster with nothing better to do than get in our way.
I wonder where the rest of those lights ended up landing. It looked like they were pretty scattered.
Well, whatever they're after, let's just hope none of them are anywhere near a city. An ambush on civilians is the last thing we need.
Well, no rest for the wicked, right? Though with 1 down and 3 to go, it sounds like our headache is just beginning.
I thought you liked the opportunity to flex your muscles.
Against those things? It's not like I have a death wish. Besides, we've already got our hands full saving the world. Dying stupidly won't be much help to the cause.
Yeah, I guess I can't argue with that logic. Sorry.
Takot ako. Dami na tayo pambenta. Hindi tayo maubusan ng ano, orange gel.
Hey, is that it over there?
Wait. Kausapin mo natin to. Manage ranch. Horse lang. Tapos, meron mong bagong weapon.
I always
Ay,
love the sound of
natin
hammers
armor.
banging away.
O may bagong armor. Wala. Nice.
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
Merong star dito sa campsite.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Si Carlo, thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream mo. Welcome, welcome. Okay.
Where? Shion?
Tin, tin, tin.
Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own?
Spaceship lang pala.
Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Rolron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time. The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet.
Don't cry, Lods.
We'll find a way to save you.
Sipon-sipon yan.
There's still time to.
Sorry.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Dahnans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Elfin?
Only living for the sake of dying. is still better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
Okay, tumugtog pa nga. Pagkampaw. Hindi pala. Sipon niya, sipon. Sorry. Susugod na tayo. Kailangan na natin sila kausapin.
The end
Uy,
of the
Lorman.
world.
Welcome,
That's hard to
welcome.
believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember.
Setup 7.
It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Yes,
You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it.
Tapos na effect nung
Can't
food
sleep.
buff.
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Ay, malapit na.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her, no matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, last one. Save na rin natin.
Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Dahnans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized
Sir Raymond So,
I'd only really been
thank you sa
thinking of
pag-like ng
myself
ating
that entire
stream.
time.
Happy New Year, sir.
After saying how I felt,
Kamusta?
and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that.
Kion PH, thank you din sa
It's
pag-like ng ating stream.
I'm not
Welcome,
planning on
welcome.
dying
Happy New Year.
anymore.
Legend of
I've met
Sushi.
many people along the way who I truly care about. to get
Welcome,
me well.
welcome, Sir Kion. Kamusta, kamusta?
So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both
Meron, nakapost sa, nakapin sa
live in peace.
top ng ating page, yung ating schedule.
But I swear I'll be there with you.
So Monday,
Until the very
Tuesday,
end.
Tales of Arise. Then Friday, Monster Hunter Rise. Tapos random game sa Sabado. Or Cornhub Night.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Hindi na maituloy. Ngayon lang naituloy. Pero malapit na matapos.
You may be right
Malapit-lapit
about
na.
that.
Sabi ni Boss Russo. Uy, Moogle Raid. Welcome, welcome, Sir Moogle Play Switch. Salamat sa pag-raid sa ating stream. Yan, si Idol Moogle, AJ Santelices. Welcome, welcome. At sa lahat ng sumama sa raid ni Sir Moogle, welcome, welcome po. Naglalaro tayo ng
Everyone
Tales
well
of
rested?
Arise.
Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Save muna tayo. Download mo na lahat. Hindi ko na siya kinuha kasi alam ko meron ako dito eh. Hindi ko pala dina-download pero meron na kasi sa PS. Ibihira lang din ako maglaro sa PC. So okay na rin. Naging free siya sa PS Plus eh nung last year.
Why are you staring at me?
Oh, we thought we'd turn the tables and critique your appearance for a change.
It's not fair if we're the only ones subjected to it.
Yeah,
What?
welcome, welcome.
Did you guys hear? Apparently, she found that dress of hers in some old.
Mind if I join you, Law?
Sir Bart Ernie, thank you sa pag-like ng ating
Hey,
stream. Welcome,
Alphen?
welcome.
What's up, Law?
You ever find yourself just wanting to give Rinwell a pat on the back?
Law?
Not in a weird way. I'm just saying, she may be sassy, but she's also trying really hard, you know? And sometimes, when I see how hard she's working, I just want to walk up and encourage her. Is that weird?
No, I can see why you might feel that way. After all, she is kind of like a little sister to everyone at this point.
Good evening, good evening.
Right,
Kamusta,
exactly.
kamusta?
But I'm worried if I do it the wrong way, she'll blast me with her magic. Or if not her magic, she'll sick Hootle on me to peck my eyes out.
Yeah, there's not much you can do if she's not feeling up for it. In fact, you're not the only one struggling to close that gap.
Huh? Has Hootle attacked you too?
No, I just mean because of her thorns.
Thorns? I don't remember Rinwell having any magic like that. That sounds more like Shion than... Huh?
Ayun o, AR-55, World 8 na.
Hoodle's probably just worried that you're
Yan na
going to
yung-
take Rinwell away from him.
Matagal magpa-level na yan.
After all, maybe your first step should be to make friends with him and go from there.
Right.
Medyo matagal na magpa-level niyan.
I'll be sure to give that a try.
Thank goodness for Law's thick skull.
See you guys tomorrow.
Tududuing.
You guys ready to hit the road? I know I am.
Save ulit. Addict tayo sa pagsisave. Ay, welcome Boss Russo. Ayan. Sumama kay Moogle Raid. Thank you ulit. Sir Moogle Play Switch sa pag-raid sa ating stream. Anin ko lang yung mga yung farm. Ranch pala, farm tuloy. Manok mo lang. Take off.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're
Kung may
going to...
kailangan kang material, sabihin mo lang sa akin.
Speaking of which,
Open
Alvin,
ang
this
world.
bucket of bolts got a name?
Shira Ryu, thank you sa pag-like and share ng ating stream. Welcome,
You know, I'm
welcome.
not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right. Then let's go.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. In 500 meters, turn right.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right.
Still
It
frame
does look
lang
more
ang
like a painting than a living, breathing world.
spaceship.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping.
Medyo
We should take a moment
Thank you
to
sa
familiarize ourselves with
pagbisita.
the facilities
Sir
on
Mark.
board before
Ayun,
arrival.
Good night, good night.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately.
Hindi tayo save. Save lang ng save.
Like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched, helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Xion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Dahnan victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this together.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Item mo dito.
Hey, Alvin, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dahna in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alvin, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alvin. It's just wrong, okay?
Tayo naman ni Kisara.
okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod.
Lalak
It
mo.
fixes injuries and
Thank you
illnesses.
sa pag-like and share ng ating
Oh, you
stream.
don't say.
Welcome,
That should
welcome,
definitely
pahabol.
come in handy if any of us get
Salamat,
injured
salamat sa
while we're down there.
pagbisita.
Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Okay, nakausap na natin lahat. Okay, tinuna ko muna pala yung likod.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this Red Woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That Red Woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your
Turbulence.
thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
Siege Kingston, aka Siege TV. Thank you sa pag-like and share ng ating stream. Welcome, welcome.
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this Red Woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to...
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
Heebie-jeebies.
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
Pwede bumalik. Save natin, medyo matagal yung ano natin, yung flight natin. BGBs. Oh, ba't parang may laban na? Medyo mabagsak yung frames.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
Okay, Do.
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
Endgame.
He's right.
We are at
need
the
to
end
stop
game
this
now.
from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
May nag-heal.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed.
Scrutable indeed.
The Ilkaris House has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Ito. Strawberry. Ano strawberry jam? Strawberry sandwich. Wala gusto mag-heal sa kanya. Heal kita.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to
galaxy
happen
far,
to the
far
city,
away.
like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it!
Skip ulit.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Oh, meron pa isa. Skit uli.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
May quest pa. Tapos natin yung quest. Tatlo lang naman. Consider mag-
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
May item pa pala dito.
He might have had something he wanted to protect.
Pagod siya kakanta.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Joms, thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream.
Ganabelt was
DMZ.
so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed.
I'm
Doesn't
lazy.
it seem just a little
Okay lang yan. Yan, DMZ. Thank you sa pag-like ng ating stream. Si Joms, part of Team Corner.
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
Tumula na naman siya. Kung ano yung sinabi niya yung sa recipe. Okay lang usapin. Wala bang item dito? Baka may nakatago na ng mga item.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis's transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
Ang daming kakausapin.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
dito sa mga...
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Gannett Harrows changed so abruptly.
Hindi ako makagalaw.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary, remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
Ay, tapos pala yung quest kaya
When
pala
you
di ako
think about it,
makagalaw.
the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust, as a fellow human being above all else.
Okay. Meron ng rewards. Mga item na nakakalat, nakikita sa mapa.
What's this thing?
Grape gel, grape.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over Holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Kailangan libutin, baka may nakatagong item. That's in
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Red Day.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
i-end yung stream ngayon. Tuloy na natin bukas yung ating adventure. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng dumaan. Sa lahat ng nag-like, nag-share. Maraming salamat po. At sa mga star senders natin, yan si Ray June, aka Juniplace. Maraming salamat. Sa pag-rate sa ating stream ni Mughal Play Switch, yan, thank you. Maraming salamat po. I-raid natin si Lexart. Hindi ko naka-live si Lexart. Yan, lagyan natin Shubin's Corner Raid. Maraming salamat. Kita-kits tayo bukas. And this is Shujin signing off.